So the Kampfer is definitely one of my favorite Xeon mobile suits. It just looks so good. It doesn't have that goofy look that some of the Xeon suits do from back during the 1 Year War. This thing just looks awesome. It was really awesome in the show until the end. It's got the light armor, so you can go fast, I guess. But it looks so cool, and the high grade definitely did it justice. And I thought this thing was like 10 years old. It came out in 2008. Holy crap! And I got it when it came out. I didn't realize it was old, and I wanted to get another one. And this one is a bootleg, and unfortunately, it does have a few issues. Mostly right here. The polycaps seem to be really off. Like the angles are off. And this one here, this one leg, I don't know why it's just one leg. I checked, this one's loose too actually, but not nearly as floppy as this guy. And I thought maybe I just flipped the polycaps around, because some of the polycaps back in the day looked very similar to each other. I checked and rechecked, and they're all there, they're in the right spot, so I don't know, this guy just had it rough. And it's kind of disappointing that it's the original color that has it rough. And even though it's pretty old now, it only has a few stickers. You got the mono eye, which they didn't make move. That's one thing I don't like about this kit, that the mono eye doesn't move. I mean, I think they could have done it. It is a smaller head than a Zaku, but I think they could have. You got the white on the command antenna and on the one shoulder armor. And I like how they split it. They sprinkled in some yellow. Sure, there's supposed to be more like down here, but if it was made nowadays, I'm sure it would. And the command antenna, it's funny. I always thought it looked kind of weird that there's like a little bit of a gap, and I can never get it all the way in. So I remembered just like recently that in the OVA, it's actually back a little bit, and then when it's activated, it goes ding and goes in the right place. So I'm assuming that's why. Maybe it's not, but that's why I assume. And yeah, it's a little limited in terms of the its posability. Could be better. Could definitely be better. Arms aren't too bad actually. Like, even though it's got one joint in the elbow, it's not that bad. Stomach is pretty decent. I'm glad that the hosing is above the waist. It's always a problem with, well, not all Zakus, but a lot of them. I don't know what that is. That's that will not come off. If I sanded it, it would probably come off. It's just part of the plastic. Legs are definitely hindered going out. Like they have no skirts obviously, so they're fine that, but can't do much. It's very limited there. And the knees are also limited in how they can bend. And angles are actually pretty decent. They're good. They have a lot of motion. They have quite a bit of jointage. They got a hinge going up here, and then another hinge. You can kind of go tilty with it, and then a ball jointed foot. So it's decent in that spot. Angle is definitely the best part of the whole thing. And of course, it also shines in the weapons. You've got the shotgun, and it comes with the appropriate hands that will accommodate that long stock that it has, so they're just angled slightly so it kind of gets out of the way. But you don't have to have that stock if you don't want to. You can just have it without the stock. It comes with a separate handle, so if you want, you can have both, with stock or without stock, or like this, one of each. It doesn't really matter, you can do whatever. And I also like that one of them you can just plop right on his back. Now this little holster, you really have to have it off of the back first, because they're just, at least as far as I can tell, maybe if you rotated the waist around, but all the thrusters in the back, it just makes it really hard to get that gun in. And it looks a little weird with his hand attached to it. But yeah, you can totally do that, or you can just leave it on there if you want to not lose it, because it holds really well. And then you've also got his two bazookas, which he also holds very well. But I mean, this is what I always do, because why wouldn't I? You got this little groove molded into the bazooka, and it goes right into these holsters that are on the back. Really nice storage. Look at that. Already looks really cool. And then you have the Stormfaust, which have their own little holsters. So you can just slide them into these holes in the legs. This thing is, I love the placement of the weapons. It's so good. And he fired them from the legs too. He just, like, as far as I can remember, yeah, he was holding them, it goes poof, and they, was it the Gem Sniper 2 that blew up? I can't remember. I have to watch that again. I really should. It's a good OVA series. And you've got one open hand if you really want to use it. But I mean, I just like having my Kampfer with all the guns.
You ever feel like you're forgetting something? Well, I definitely forgot the beam saber handles. And yeah, it's nice to have them, but I really wish they could fit into the thighs. Unfortunately, they can't, because they're supposed to be stored right in there. But in this scale, I don't know how they do that. They either have to make the thigh a little bigger, or make the beam saber smaller. I'm not sure how that would work, so it happens. But you do have the clear yellow beams and the holding hands for the as it falls on the floor. Holding hand for the beam sabers. So it's nice to have them, but I really wish they could be stored. I don't see how it would be possible in this scale. Maybe they could do it if they made it 2.0. Who knows? Its major signature weapon, which I just freaking don't like putting together, is the chain mine. It's an awesome weapon. Like when it goes around the Alex, it's like magnetized, and then it like blows up the Chobham armor. And they even reused it again in Unicorn. I can't remember which one used it. I think it was that one that didn't have any thrusters. I can't remember its name. I have it, I just don't remember its name. But yeah, it's just a wire that has to feed through all these, and you just clip these parts like two halves together throughout the wire. It's annoying. I mean, it's cool to do it once, and since it is a wire, you can definitely wrap it around a mobile suit. But I only wanted to do it once. I still have the original. Actually, I have the one from the Amazing Kampfer too. I think it came with it. So I just did it one time. And yeah, I did it one time because I went a little Kampfer crazy. So let's start with the one that's like, it makes sense with the color scheme. You got the sand colored Kampfer, or the Sandfer as I like to call it. So you got this nice brown, and then they've replaced the yellow with this kind of red with a hint of orange. I like it. It actually works well with this color, and still have the same stickers. They're all the same. But this guy has tighter joints than the normal colored variant. Actually, I have two more to look at. They all have better joints than the official color. Weapons are exactly the same color. There is no difference there. It's actually the one that I built the chain mine for. I built this one first because I just really liked the idea of a Sandfer. And so, I mean, that's about it, because it's like exactly the same. There's no difference in terms of it except for like the colors, but everything else is the same. But then I saw something that looked really cool too. A red Kampfer, a Ramfer. This is kind of like a Char Kampfer, or maybe a Johnny Ryden. I can definitely see that. And it has an actual orange color, where the other one's like got a red one with a hint of orange, the other one's yellow. This one's definitely orange, which makes sense. It stands out. Although yellow would have looked good too, but I like that. Now the red, I think, is showing up a little brighter on camera than it is in person, because I felt once I built it, it looked really good. I felt the plastic by itself looked really toyish, but once you have it assembled like this, it's not as bad. And probably with a little bit of weathering, it looked better. But the weapons have changed in color too. They're not gray now; they're black, which looks really good with the red. They would actually look really good with the other colors too. But it is nice to have a difference in color with the weapons, not just all gray all the time. And they also carry that on with definitely my favorite. This is my favorite. Holy crap, I love it. The Evangelion Unit 1 Kampfer. Yeah, that's right. Shinji getting the Kampfer. It looks so good, and it works so well. Now, my one complaint, and I could fix this. It should have the orange of the red Kampfer instead of the yellow. Granted, it's a little, I think, let me just bring out the original. I think it's a slightly different shade, and maybe not. I think it has a slight tint of orange to it. Maybe it does. Maybe that is okay. But I think if it was this orange, it might have been better. You tell me, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. It might be okay. I think it's a little too yellow for me. But it does have green pieces too, which are painted. They're actually purple underneath, but they painted them green just to give you that little bit of Evangelion. And the weapons are the same color as the weapons for the Evas. It's got this like green, military brown combination color. I don't know what you call it. It's very unique, I find, to the Evas. Because every time I've ever got a model, I've always had like that color. And one other thing, because I mean, it's once again all the same weapons, everything else, just the colors have changed. But these kits, they all came with this kind of water slide decal. But you know, it looks good. It's got the red, it's got the white, it has numbers, it's cool. But the Evangelion one came with these decals. You got Nerve logos, you got the symbols they have on the computers. Yeah, and it has Ava 1 test.
It has like the white nerve logo up here, Evangelion logo right there. It's so cool. Like they went whole hog with the Ava one. I really like it. Now while I'm very happy that I have all 4 of these, there's one color I want some knockoff company to do. We need a green Kampfer. Why, you ask? Well, if you take off that head, you got a frog. It's a frog head torso. It is the perfect frog Xeon mobile suit. Come on, Xeon would do they do anything. They would make a frog looking mobile suit. Come on. I mean, the Kapool is close, I guess, not quite, but I mean, it is very amphibian looking. But yeah, just remove the head. I should just do it myself, really. I got enough kits, I could definitely do it.